晚上好哦，各位。那么大家应该都有听到我的声音。那么呢，今天欢迎大家来到我们的未来大学生线上升学展。那么我们今天呢，会跟前几天一样，就是讲解科系啦。那么呢，就如大家所看到的，我们今天会讲解的是法律系。OK，想当律师的学生呢，今天就一定要留守我们的直播了。那么呢，很多人会听到说，哎，要当律师要考什么 CLP？哎，到底什么是 CLP？我们今天 Christine 呢就会跟大家讲解。除此之外呢，我们也会介绍一些 UK Transfer Degree 的 program，就是呢，你可以读到最后年的时候，你可以出国去英国啊之类的，或者是呢。我们也会介绍你一些国内外法律系有受承认的大学哦。那么今天跟我们一起合办的大学呢是 Malaysia 的 Help University。那么今天呢，我们的升学顾问 Christine 会跟大家就是介绍法律系咯。然后呢，我们也邀请到了 Help 的大学代表，也就是 Annie。那么她今天也会给我们简略的介绍一下他们的学校哦。那么呢，我们每天都会有抽奖环节，相信如果大家之前都有参加过我们活动的话，都知道我们每天都会送出2份礼物。所以呢，今天要送出的是 Starbucks 的杯子，还有的就是一个彩色笔跟日历的组合。那么大家想要获得这2样奖品的话，可以呢就是扫描右下角的 QR code 报名我们的活动，再去到我们的 Facebook Live 按赞，然后分享，并且留言未来大学生。今天呢就有机会可以抽到这2个奖品了。OK，所以你们快点 share 出去哦，给越多人看到越好。好的，那么我们现在呢就邀请 Christine 呢来为我们做讲解。
OK，大家应该有听到我的声音。OK，我今天只会介绍法律系啦，然后会讲课程内容适合谁读未来出路，然后也会讲说你到底要怎样在马来西亚成为律师，合格的律师，然后你要怎样如果你要去怎样的学校 OK， 因为其实法律系这个科目呢，它是有需要拿 license 的，所以呢，当你去选择那些大学的时候呢，你必须要确保你所选择的那些大学呢是受马来西亚的那个律师工会所认可的 OK， 然后也会给一些大学推荐呢 OK， 法律系OK， 法律系你会读到什么科目呢？这边6个其实很少 OK， 我只写了这么少，其实它有很多很多的啦 OK， 好像马来西亚法律制度啊，刑法、侵占权、马来西亚土地法，OK， 国际公法、证据法，还有那些什么家庭法啊，很像商业法啊、business law 啊，OK， 这些其实都是你会读到的，OK， 总之各种各样的法律你都会读到。OK， 然后适合谁读呢？如果你对人事物感兴趣，OK， 喜欢深入了解每一件事情的话，善于沟通，注重细节，权衡利弊。OK， 什么叫注重细节？就是讲说呢，当你发现到很像一些小细节 ，OK， 你很容易去发现到一些小细节，然后可以帮助到你的 client。OK， 看你的 client 是被告啊，还是要告别人的。OK， 你可以因为这些细节，然后帮到你，很像可以在你的那个法庭上，然后胜利啦，胜诉。OK， 然后在不同的角度思考，其实这个是非常重要的。如果现在今天你的 client 就是你的顾客是被告，OK， 然后你除了要站在你的被告的角度思考，你要想一下告他的那个人 ，OK， 告他的那一个人，他们的那个律师，还有那个告他的人会想什么，然后会用什么方法来跟你打这一场的官司 ，OK， 这个是非常重要的，就是你不可以只是想一方面，你要想各个层面的东西啦。所以喜欢深入了解每一件事情也是非常重要的。OK， 接下去呢，你可以成为什么律师呢？好像诉讼律师了。很像过户律师，过户律师其实很简单，就是像是那一些很像土地转让啊，或者房子转让啊，店屋转让啊，总之就是原本是你名下的东西，你要转让给别人，然后你不可以嘴巴上面讲罢了的 ，OK， 需要去律师所，然后要律师出律师信啊，出一堆的东西 document， 然后你们2个双方都要去签名啊 ，OK 才正式的过户啦。OK， 然后内部法律顾问哦，还有公诉人。OK， 还有，如果你不喜欢做那一些的话，你比较喜欢 OK 教导别人的话，你也可以成为法律的讲师啦。OK， OK，这个是我们今天最重要的环节，如何在马来西亚成为律师，合格的律师。OK，我这边会讲比较慢一点点，因为我怕大家会乱啊。OK，首先这边应该会有 SPM 的学生或者 O Level 的学生，就是 IGCSE，然后呢，也有可能有 UEC 的学生、A Level 的学生，好像 STPM 今天才出成绩啦。OK，如果你手上是 SPM 或者 O Level 的话，你可以选择去读 Foundation in Law。或者可以选择去读 A Level 或者 STPM。OK， 就是这边有蛮多个 option， 有3个 option 给你选择啦。然后呢，如果你是本身在读中 ，OK， 你在读中升学的，你在读中高2的时候会完成 SPM。如果你成绩理想的话，你可以选择先去读 Foundation in Law， 然后再上去 Degree。或者你不要，你想要完成 UEC， 就是高3的那个统考的话，也是没有问题的。只要你们的成绩达标的话，都是可以去到 Law Degree 的。OK， 很多学生会问我，姐姐是不是只有读 Science Stream， 就是读 Bio、Physics、Chemistry 的学生才可以读法律系？其实法律系它没有管你是不是读 Science 的，因为读法律我又不是要去切尸体，我又不需要动到 Chemistry， 我不需要动到化学，我又不需要导那些液体 ，OK， 我又不需要了解细胞。OK， 所以基本上你读法律系耶，你不管你是文商科还是你是那个 Science 科的学生 ，OK， 不管你是科学班的学生还是文商科的学生，读 Economy 班的学生，读 Accounting 班的学生，你都只要成绩达标的话，你都可以去申请的 ，OK， 所以不需要太担心啦。OK，Law Degree 有多少年？OK，Law Degree 总共是3年。OK， 我们讲的是私立大学啊。OK， 什么是私立大学？就是需要考 CLP 的大学。那些没有考 CLP 的大学呢，比较特别一点点啦，有些要4年，有些要5年，看你的 level 啦。OK， 基本上呢都是3年。在马来西亚 ，OK， 我们这边会这样子放2个格子，这个上面这个格子就是讲说你这3年的 degree 都在马来西亚完成。OK， 你没有去任何地方，就是在同一间学校读完你的这个 law degree， 然后或者你可以选择1+2或2+1，就是我们很常听到的叫 training program， 就是第1年在本地马来西亚，最后2年去英国，或者前面2年 OK 在本地，然后最后1年去英国。OK， 我们都叫1+2、2+1。你们可能会觉得很奇怪，为什么？不好意思啊，我听到声音。OK， 请如果你们没有 mute 你们的声音的话，请 mute 一 mute 啊，谢谢。OK， 然后呢，这个 UK Transfer Program 为什么你们有没有发现到你们在 check 资料的时候没有看到 Australia Transfer Program？OK， 也没有看到什么 America Transfer Program， 其实主要原因是因为体系的问题。OK， 因为马来西亚是英国殖民地，我相信这边有读历史的学生应该多多少少都知道我们是英国殖民地的国家啦。所以呢，我们跟的东西呢，不管是驾车的方向盘 ，OK， 我们方向盘是靠左边的，所以这个也是 follow 英国的。OK， 因为美国是靠右边的，然后呢，台湾是比较偏美国的，所以他们基本上都是靠右边的。我不知道你们有没有注意到这个东西啦 ？OK， 所以我们是比较偏英国的，所以我们的很多体系呢，教育体系啊 ，OK， 都是比较像英国那一方面的。所以我们这边呢，如果你读了1年或者2年，你过后去英国呢，也会比较容易。OK， 也比较容易啦。但是就代表说我不可以去 Australia 吗？其实没有这样子讲。OK，Australia 大学我们马来西亚也是承认的，有一些大学我们也是承认的。然后像是美国有一些大学我们也是承认的，但是这些都需要先去 check 回去，就是要跟政府的那一个资料 check 回去先啦。OK， 到这里。你读完3年的 law 的 degree 啊，你可能觉得哦，这样子我是不是就有license了？我可以上法庭了 ，OK， 我可以去很像 OK 去开我自己的律师了，哇，很帅 ，OK， 其实 sorry 并没有 ，OK， 其实还没有到啊，还有一段路要走 ，OK， 要怎样的走法嘞 ？OK， 首先你完成3年的 law degree， 我们慢慢讲啊。OK， 你在马来西亚完成3年的 law degree， 然后你的成绩 OK。你可以选择留在马来西亚考 CLP，OK， 你就把 CLP 当成就是一个我成为律师之路中间的一个 license，OK， 它就是一个 license 啦 ，OK， 你可以选择留在马来西亚考 CLP，OK， 考完之后你要去实习大律师 ，OK， 实习大律师，然后9个月啊 ，OK， 9个月的时间，然后过后嘞，完成了之后，你就要有人进来 ，OK， 完成了过后，你就要去法庭 ，OK， 法庭你就要宣誓哦，就要宣誓 ，OK， 你会成为一个公正公义的律师啊，什么之类的。Malaysia Bar 的意思就是那个马来西亚的律师工会的名字啦，OK， 当你完成这一系列的步骤啊过后嘞。OK，CLP 实习大律师9个月，然后去那个 court 那个法庭那边宣誓了过后呢，你就可以拿到执照。OK， 这个执照我待会会讲有什么作用啦。OK， 如果现在是 UK Transfer Program 的话，我从英国回来哦，我在英国读完哦，这样子我有没有机会回来马来西亚考 CLP 呢？其实是有的 ，OK， 一定是有的。可是当你去英国的时候，你要先做一个功课先，你一定要先做功课，你要确保你所申请的那个英国大学，Australia大学也好，任何一间大学，它的那个大学的 law 的文凭 ，OK， 法律系的文凭是受马来西亚的律师工会所承认的 ，OK， 你只需要确保你出国读的那一个律师的那一个课程，那一间大学的律师课程是受马来西亚的律师工会所承认的，你回来马来西亚照样可以考 CLP， 照样可以考完 CLP 过后去实习大律师 ，OK， 实习大律师过后结束去法庭上面宣誓，你会成为公正公义的律师，然后你还是可以拿到执照的，没有问题。OK， 如果说你今天讲姐姐，我真的是不小心哦，读了一间英国大学，然后它不受马来西亚承认，这样我要怎样成为律师？我想回来马来西亚成为律师，有办法吗？有，首先你可以选择在英国考 BPTC，OK， 但是这个 BPTC 呢，是你的分数需要达到一个 Upper Second Class Honours 啊 ，OK， 就是有一个成绩的要求。如果你的成绩只是刚刚好及格的话呢，你是没有办法去考这个 BPTC 的，所以一切都还是要看成绩。OK， 如果你在英国读完了过后，你想要留在英国考完这个 BPTC，OK， 可以回来做律师吗？是绝对没有问题的。OK， 你不需要担心，因为马来西亚是接受 BPTC 的。OK， 因为我们是英国殖民地嘛。OK， 就是这样。OK， 这样子，如果我读了这个 Law Degree，然后我想要去英国可以吗？哎，其实我在刚进这个行业的时候，我就有遇到一个女生，她很厉害耶。哦，她这真的是在她就是在马来西亚完成3年的 law degree， 然后她就讲说她要去英国考 PPTC， 可以吗？其实是可以的，没有问题的。OK， 只要你有 money 的话，一切都好沟通啦。OK， 是没有问题的。然后你在英国考完 PPTC 可以回来做律师吗？啊，是绝对没有问题的，因为马来西亚是接受的。OK。可以呀、这边如果你有什么问题的话，还是有点混乱的话啊，待会可以发问呐、OK， 这个执业律师是拿来干嘛的呢 ？OK， 你有这个执照又可以做什么呢？首先，你就可以上法庭咯，你可以上法庭去做那个律师，可以去做那些辩护律师啊。所以我们刚刚讲那些职业，你全部能做了，全部都可以做。OK， 如果你没有拿到这个职业律师的话，你就不能够上法庭咯。OK， 可以做的东西会比较少。然后呢，还有什么？你不小心 mute 到我了哈。哦，所以刚才我讲的话全部没有声音。我刚才
有，我
讲的东西
没有掉你1秒吧
？OK， 好，可以，OK， 不然我要重讲了。OK， 所以这个职业律师呢，他还可以做什么呢？他还可以开自己的那个律师楼啦。OK， 当你成为律师楼的时候，你可以接更多的业务。OK，然后我之前有我跟大家分享一个经历啦，有学生问过我，姐姐，如果我想要在一间那种大企业，就是那种大的那种比较厉害的那种企业公司里面成为法律顾问，我是不是只需要读 business course， 就是商科？因为商科里面有一个科目叫 business law， 如果你们有去看的话，或者你有听过我讲的话 ，OK， 我有跟学生讲过，你去读business course， 你一定会有一个科目叫 business law， 然后你去读那种很像 mass communication， 就是那种传播类的。OK， 就是那种比较媒体类的，你一定会读到那个 media， 就是媒体类的法律。OK， 这一些法律呢，基本上你如果是读法律系，你一定会读到的。然后那位学生就可能误会了，他就觉得说，哎，是不是我去读那个 我去读那个商科，然后里面有一个科目叫 Business Law， 所以我以后出来嘞，我就可以成为那些企业的那种大公司的那个法律顾问。OK，sorry，其实是不能的，因为那个法律那个科系哦，它只不过是一个科目罢了。OK， 你并不能够读那一个科目就可以成为法律系的。OK， 就成为那个律师的，是不可能的。OK， 如果你想要之后想要在那种大企业里面成为那种法律顾问啊 ，OK， 看起来很帅很美的那种的话，首先你一定要先去读 law degree， 然后再完成 CLP 或者 BPTC， 然后实习大律师，然后去宣誓，宣誓完了拿到执照，你就可以去 OK。可以啊，这边没有问题啊，所以你们不要以为我读 business 或者读 media 里面有一个科目叫做 law，OK， 我读了过后我就可以成为律师 ，OK，sorry，cannot 啊。OK， 接下去呢就是薪水方面啦。OK， 如果你刚毕业的话，在马来西亚的话，大概薪水是2800到4000。OK， 新加坡就是2500到3500。这里有一个东西要讲哦，你可能会觉得这薪水怎么好像没有很高？当然，因为这个是 for 你刚刚毕业。OK， 你刚刚从 law degree 毕业，你手上没有 CLP 的文凭来生或者 BPTC， 你什么都没有，你只有一个 degree， 所以肯定薪水肯定会比较低一些些啦。OK， 然后马来西亚完成过后呢，我可不可以去新加坡工作 ？OK， 首先新加坡基本上只承认马来西亚的几间大学罢了。OK， 如果你是读私立大学的话，基本上去新加坡是不可能的啦，因为你要先想一个东西，很像如果你昨天有进来我的那个engineering 课程的话，我最后一个我有讲到 civil engineering。OK，civil engineering 呢，它是做那种土地的嘛，它必须要根据不同的国家的土地的形式，如果那个国家是有地震的话。OK， 他就要可能他们在做那些房屋的时候，他要有防震的功能啊，然后确保他的屋子的构架是那个大风吹来的时候不会被吹走的啊，什么之类的。马来西亚 law 也是一样的，每一个国家有自己的法律。OK， 所以如果你是觉得说，哎，我可不可以在这个国家读了，然后去那个国家做工，其实是有办法的。OK， 其实是有办法的，就是你必须要在你自己的国家，你考到了，然后你成为那个律师，最后的那个律师过后，然后你自己过后又再去拿那种什么 international law 啊 ，OK， 就是国际的法律啊那种啊，这些都是你可以一直去进步的啦 ，OK， 可以提升自己的 ，OK。接下去呢，就给大家介绍一下啦。这边我给的比较少，其实还有很多间啊。马来西亚承认的大学 ，OK， 这个是马来西亚的国旗啦。OK， 马来西亚当然承认 UM 啦，UM 所有课程基本上全世界都认可啦。OK， 然后私立的话有 MMU 咯 ，Taylor's Help。OK， 然后新加坡的话呢就有 NUS 咯。然后呢，如果你去英国的话呢，我这边只给4间，其实有10多间呐。OK， 有10多间。OK， 然后 University of Cambridge、University of Oxford、OK，Queen's University、Belfast、University of Manchester。我这边讲的承认的意思是讲，如果你现在完成 SPM 或者你完成你的那个读中的统考，你想要直接飞过去英国读的话，请选择 OK 马来西亚承认的大学。如果你觉得说我不想花那么多钱，我不想要3年都在英国 ，OK， 我不想3年都在英国，因为那个英镑很贵 ，OK， 很贵 ，OK， 所以我想要2年在这里，然后1年出国也可以的，因为现在有很多大学，像 Taylor's University 还有 Help University， 他们都有提供那些2+1或者1+2的那个 UK Degree Transfer Program，OK， 可以啊，到这里应该没有什么问题。然后像 Australia 方面呢，其实我们也是承认的。OK， 所以你不需要担心。如果你是我不想去英国，我想要去 Australia，OK， 因为比较靠近我的家乡，飞回来的话会比较方便啊。我真的是有听过学生这样子讲啦。OK， 好像 University of Melbourne、University of Sydney、Monash University， 还有一个 University of Macquarie。OK， 这4间我只是放4间，其实还有很多间，我们马来西亚也是承认的啊。OK， 不只是这4间，所以如果你来找我们咨询的话，我们会给你很像比较符合你的条件所要的大学咯。还有再讲多一个重点，这个 Monash University 是 Australia 的啊。Malaysia 的那一间为什么不可以算进去？因为 Malaysia 的 Monash 没有 law degree。OK， 你可以去查啊，没有 law degree 啊。OK， 还有 pharmacy 有 medicine 啊，没有 law 啊。OK， 接下去呢就是今天的最后一张 slide 啊。OK， 我今天也是给4间大学啦 ，OK， 第一间就是我们今天 Help University 咯 ，OK， 它的强大在哪里呢？它的 Law 的学生呢，就是做了2+1或1+2的 program， 然后去到英国，然后以 First Class Honours。OK， 毕业。如果你们有去 check 的话，你们应该知道 First Class Honours 就是最高等级的。OK， 就是马来西亚学生 ，OK 是第一个在英国的法律系拿到 First Class Honours 毕业的。OK， 然后他的那一些法律，他的除了这一个法律系之外呢，他的 business course 也非常的厉害啦，心理学也不错。然后呢，第二间就是 BSc，BSc 呢，它与多间高排名的大学合作啦，它有很多很多的双联课程，然后它所有的课程都不是自己的 ，OK， 都是跟外国的大学合作 ，OK。然后 Taylor University 呢，它也是一样它有机会让学生呢，有短暂的时间可以去留学啦。就讲说，如果你不想做2+1或1+2，但是你只是想要有1个学期还马币，然后去英国有一个短暂的留学时间的话，你可以选择 Taylor University 啦，他们会开放。然后 MMU 呢是马来西亚唯一一间私立大学，它的法律系不需要 sit in CLP。可是呢，你要完成它的法律系，将近要4年到7年的时间啊。OK， 听清楚，4年到7年的时间。然后他在 law 的这个 degree 呢，也要求非常非常非常的高。OK， 所以如果你对这4间大学有兴趣，然后对他们的那个 scholarship 有兴趣的话，要快快咨询我们啦。其实除了这边4间，还有其他间大学也是有法律系的。OK， 欢迎你们来咨询啊！我把时间交回给以琪。
OK，谢谢 Christina 给我们讲解了这么多关于法律系的一些知识。那么呢，相信大家也对于就是要怎么成为一个律师的这个流程有了一个全新的了解啦。那么呢，这里做一个温馨提醒哦，就是大家呢进来这个 Zoom 记得把你们的名字换成前面英文，后面华文，这样的话我们才可以就是做一个点名，那么抽奖的时候才有机会抽到你哦。那么如果你是朋友介绍进来听的话，也请记得就是在我们的这个活动报名啦。那么你们可以在那个 chat room 那边看到那个报名的网址。然后呢，大家今天我们要送出的2份礼物就是 Starbucks 的杯子，还有就是彩色笔跟日历的这个组合。所以你们如果想要获得我们的奖品的话，也记得去我们的 Facebook Live 按赞分享，然后呢留言未来大学生，今天就有机会可以抽到这2个奖品了。好，那么我就不多说了，我们现在就先邀请 Help University 的代表来给我们就是介绍一下他们的学校哦。
Hello， 各位好。
Hello Annie。
我是 Annie 啊。我现在播放一个就是我们的 Dean， 我们 Law 的 Dean 叫 Vasan 的，他对 Law 的讲解，你们就用心听，他是英文。然后他今天也有在这个 room， 事后你们有什么有什么问题也可以直接问，用英文没关系，因为他都可以，他很耐心的会跟你们讲解。好，他也是一个 lawyer 来的。你一下子我们开一下 share 一下。OK。等一下，对不起，有一点点小这里对了。
So we have 2 programs. One option, which has been the longest standing one, that we started off from the 80s and 90s, would be now known as the UK Degree Transfer Program for Law. So on this program, the students have the option of pursuing a 1+2 or a 2+1. So on a 1+2, we have Manchester, Sheffield, and also the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, in London.
Annie， 这个是 video 来的哈？
是的。
因为我们这里没有显示到那个 video。
是哈。
你可以重新 share screen 一次。
好，一下子OK， 你们看得到吗
？OK， 你可以有。
一下。
So we have 2 programs. One option, which has been the longest standing one, that we started off from the 80s and 90s, would be now known as the UK Degree Transfer Program for Law. So on this program, the students have the option of pursuing a 1+2 or a 2+1. So on a 1+2, we have Manchester, Sheffield, and also the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, in London. So these are 3 universities are strictly on a 1+2. Then on the 2+1 option, we have Cardiff, Liverpool, Leeds, Aberystwyth, West of England, Bristol, Northumbria, and Hertfordshire. So we have very good universities tied up with us as partners with us, reputable universities, excellent law schools. So this is the UK degree transfer program. The other option, of course, is the Bachelor of Laws, the Health Bachelor of Laws. The Health Bachelor of Laws is now recognized by the Legal Profession Qualifying Board for the purposes of CLP. Yeah? This is a very good option because the students can do all 3 years and complete the degree in Malaysia without having to step out of this country, especially in the current situation, and still obtain a holistic education. Yeah? I just need to explain to you why this is so important. I did, as you explained earlier in your introduction of me, I was in practice, yes. I did the London External Program back in the 80s. In fact, I started reading law in 1986, September. So yeah, that explains my white hair. So when I came out to practice, having completed an external degree program and having done the certificate in legal practice, I found that
Annie，我没有听到声音诶，是你没有了自己的麦是吗？所以没有声音。
全部没有声音哈。
没有，中间突然。
中间突然啊，哦，我去mute掉它 ，sorry。OK，sorry 啊。
可以。
Came out to practice, having completed an external degree program and having done the certificate in legal practice, I found that I was very, very lost. I didn't understand practical aspects because all that I went through in my 3-year plus my CLP would be to prepare for exams and passing of exams. There was no drafting, there was no advocacy skills, there was no mock trials, there was nothing. In fact, the only thing that I used to do was to go to the Court of Appeal, to the federal court sometimes, was to watch the late Harpal Singh come for his hearing of his habeas corpus. At that time, he was detained under ISA. So the only exposure that we had was wherein we as students took it upon ourselves and we went to court, we followed some trials and things like that. So I was totally lost. And then when I started chambering, I realized how lost I was. And I had very, very nice seniors in the law firm who used to then say, okay, Vasan, you're free tomorrow morning, come, I'm going to Shah Alam Khan, so you can come and observe. So I used to, wait for this opportunity to follow them, to proofread some of the contracts, because some of the partners who were involved with corporate and conveyancing agreements and all that, they used to give it to me because of my, they thought I had very good proficiency in the language, English language. So they used to give it to me to edit or to vet. So I took the opportunity to then read this contract and to understand, oh, this contract has these terms. This other contract doesn't have the same or similar terms. Why? And also, I started having a little journal next to me, and I used to write down everything that I read and experienced, because this was not something that law school taught me. Yeah. So the Bachelor of Laws is a 3-year program. We train our students to read the Malaysian law and to prepare them for practice in Malaysia. So these are the 2 programs that we have up there. Okay, this comes from the experience of some of us seniors in the faculty. Most of us seniors went through the similar experience that I did, and that we did an external program, and that we were ill prepared for practice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of my degrees, my testaments that I had. It was very difficult to get it, to pass an external exam is very tough. And I believe, Abral, you also pursued an external degree program. So we understand the challenges that we face. So we did not want our students to experience the same or similar challenges that we went through. So what the former head of department did, Dr. Jaswal Kaur, was that she incorporated 2 additional modules into the curriculum, known as legal skills and legal practice. So legal skills and legal practice, I joined HELP in 1999. So I think this was introduced in 2001. So we were one of the earliest to inculcate practical skills as part of the program, not as an extracurricular activity, but as part and parcel of the curriculum itself. So in legal skills, the students are exposed to client counseling. What do we mean by client counseling? Client counseling means when you meet a client, how do you ask the right questions? And how do you get to know all the relevant facts so that you can prepare for the case, right? You don't want surprises in court suddenly, and then you look at the client and say, hey, you didn't tell me this. And the client will say, but you didn't ask me this question. I didn't know it was relevant. So it's an art in order for us to question and to get the right information. The first time I did a client counseling was as a young chambering student following my course, my master. And all I did was take out the yellow notepad, legal pad, and take down questions, whatever was asked. I was just like a secretary, writing notes, And so our students don't go through that. They learn client counseling, they learn how to draft, basic fundamental drafting skills are there. They learn how to do, they understand advocacy skills. When we talk about advocacy skills, that means how do you address the bench? The bench means the judge. How do you address your co-counsels? How do you question a witness? Examination in chief, cross-examination, re-examination. How do you dress up when you go to court? You see, today I'm wearing a blue coat. For 6 over years, close to 7 years, my wardrobe was just black and white. So what do you wear? I still remember listening to one of the lawyers telling us in this case where a young lady stood up in court, in high court, stood up in court and started addressing and talking to the judge. And the judge says, I can't hear you. So she started speaking louder. He says, no, I can't hear you. So she started speaking even louder. Then another lawyer next to her nudged her, elbowed her and said, look, you're not robed. You cannot address the judge. So she had forgotten to robe herself. And then she started to put on that robe in front of the judge. These are all taboos. These are things, these are practices that we have followed because we were colonized by the British. So we followed the English legal system in that sense and the traditions of the British. So you're not supposed to do this kind of thing. So we train our students and explain to them the importance of why you are robed and how you address and how you approach the bench, how you speak to the judge, how you address the judge. There was another incident told to me at one of the CLP convocations some years back by a judge, saying that that particular morning, a very young lawyer put his hand up in court and said, Bang, tolong panggil case saya dulu. I mean, this is the High Court, And can you imagine anyone addressing the judge as Bang? I mean, it's unheard of. So we want our students to speak with clarity, right? To have confidence. And confidence comes along when you know your subject matter. Okay? If you have not prepared your case, then the subject matter won't be there. And so then your confidence level will be weak. We all get nervous when we go to court. Our knees will be trembling and whatever. But nobody should see that. Nobody should see that you're nervous. You should speak confidently. You should speak with clarity. Ask the questions, answer, and things like that. So advocacy skills is very important. Mooting is very important. Mooting is like an appeal court, right? An appellate case. So you only have the lawyers and the judge. So our students go through this entire thing. And then in the second year, they're also exposed to how do you manage a law firm. You know the difference between client's account and office account, writing of wills, so an extended version of the legal skills. So we have these two modules incorporated in our UK degree transfer program, as well as our health bachelor degrees. With a law degree, what you are doing is that you're honing your critical thinking skills. And a law degree is so versatile. You can join the oil and gas company. You can join the banking industry. You can join human resource. You can be an in-house lawyer, you can be a journalist. I have students doing all sorts of things. They've even gone into investment management. All right, my alumni are doing fantastically well, whether they are in practice or whether they are not in practice pursuing other aspects. But this is the thing. I need people to understand that a legal practice doesn't, a law degree doesn't just equate to legal practice. You don't need a business degree to go into business, right? You can do a law degree and a master in business administration if you want to then take up a business degree. Because with what you do in an MBA is that you are actually looking at strategies, you are looking at case studies. It's very practical and it actually prepares you for the business world. You know, at the end of the day, a campus is just brick and mortar. And today, with the Industrial Revolution 4.0, brick and mortar is just pointless, useless. We don't even get to be on campus to start off with. Everything is online. But what you need is a supportive system, good, caring faculty members, which I have. I have an extremely dedicated team of faculty members, the lecturers and the administrators. That is important. We have good partners for you to choose from on a 1+2, 2+1. We have a good 3-year local degree program, which is holistic. You don't have to do an external degree program and suffer the way I did. You can actually do a holistic 3-year program, which is only a 69,000 ringgit for the full 3 years. Okay, all inclusive, no hidden cost. So do check us up and come and talk to us.
OK， 你们现在我们刚才就是我们的 Dean， 我们的 Help 那个 Law Department 的 Dean， 他就讲解我们的 Law Department。我们是比较强调是很 practical， 因为这个是 prepare 你们毕业出来的时候，你们真的就可以就像一个 professional lawyer 的。So Fasan is here. Then if you have any question, you can ask. 你们可以发问没问题。用英文或者是你们用中文，我们可以翻译，然后我们可以帮你们。
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Fasan, thanks.
Very no problem. Thank you for organizing this and thank you for being here this evening.
Ring-in, they are our agent.
Right. Thanks a lot. So do you have any questions to ask of me?
Yeah.
Do we have parents and students with us tonight?
I think most of them are students.
I think in the chat also it's not written in English, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me check. They haven't put their question yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the students who are with us tonight, have they completed Form 5 or completed pre-U, UEC? What level have they completed?
I think
that will help me advise them better.
Yeah, I think they have STPM student, SPM,
okay.
Also all mixed. I think so.
All right. So if you're STPM students, you can join straight away into the first year, whether it is the UK degree transfer program or the HELP Bachelor of Laws. We call it LLB. So either program you're eligible to join and you can do the CLP here. The UK degree transfer program, if you do, you can do the bar in England or come back and do the CLP. And the HELP LLB, of course, the only pathway after that is to do the CLP if you want to keep the option to practice. So STPM, that's a recognized pre-university entry requirement. For those of you who are just after Form 5 and wondering what to do, if you're thinking of law, then we have a very special package. I think Annie can advise you on this, that you can do the foundation and the 3-year law degree, all inclusive. The tuition fees is only 60,000 ringgit now. The reason why we have brought down the pricing is because we understand the pandemic has caused a lot of financial issues for many parents, many students out there, and many of them might want to, no choice, you can't go overseas, you can't go anywhere else. They might actually consider doing the UK degree transfer program. I'm sorry, the London external, because they can't go to UK. So like I said, I have been from an external program as well. And if you really want something that's holistic, so we are doing this for 1 year now, for 2021, 2022, for those who are joining us from foundation and completing the HELP LLB, 60,000 ringgit only. Yeah, the CEO and I had a discussion on this because we want to help the parents and students who are caught in the financial constraints of the pandemic. But you will definitely get a very, very holistic education if you come to HELP, because as I mentioned in the video, I graduated in 1990, okay? And I did my CLP in 1991. I got called to the bar in October 1992. So with a typical degree that just teaches you textbook, passing of exams, it doesn't prepare you for being employable. Simply doesn't prepare you. And for lawyers, a lot of practical skills. You have to draft, you have to speak, you have to file matters in the court. So you need to have all the practical exposure as much as possible. And if you go to a typical university, this is taught only in the 4th year. So if you're doing a UK degree transfer program, or you're doing a program in UK, or even in Australia, UK is done in the bar. The practical skills are taught in the bar. In Australia also is in the 4th year, because their bar is incorporated as part of their 4th year. Yeah, so you're not exposed to practical training as early as in year 1. We are the only ones who started doing this, and we started doing this in 2001, if I'm not mistaken. I joined HELP in 1999. So I've been with HELP for 21 over years now. And before that, I was teaching part-time when I was in practice as well. Yeah. So from the day I graduated, I've been teaching. And then I did the CLP and I went into practice. Nighttime, I used to give tuition. I used to teach those who were sitting for the external exams. I used to teach those who were doing the CLP. So I've been in academia for 31 years now. So trust me when I say that we have changed the curriculum, we have changed the way we are doing, because we want our students not to go through the difficult times that we went through. Yeah, so we have changed that. But don't believe what I have to say. Come and sit in our class. You can drop me an email and say that, oh, Vasan, I met you on this day, organized by LinkedIn, and we would like to sit in 1 or 2 of the classes to get a feel of how you do your classes. And now everything is online with the pandemic, and you know today's news is EMCO now. So we are all locked down for further 2 weeks and probably more. So please come and join us. So that's a question here. Let me look at the chat. Give me a second, please. Good evening. May I know what is the subject required to the Bachelor of Law if I take UEC? Okay, if you have done the UEC, you can join us. All right. You need to have SPM 5 credits. You still need SPM. The reason why I'm saying this is because so that next time when you come back, you finish, you can do the CLP. But if you're not interested in doing the CLP, you just want a law degree, then all this is not a problem. But anyway, it's 5 SPM credits, Bahasa credit, English credit. And also when you join us, you still have to do the English MWET, because that is a requirement by the Malaysian Qualifications Agency, MQA. All right. MQA is a statutory body attached to the MOHE, Ministry of Higher Education. Okay. So then with the UEC, as long as you have passed your UEC papers, you can join us. Huh? We look for 5 Bs generally for UEC. Does that answer your question, dear?
Okay,
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Wong Jing Suan. All right, great. So it's 5 credits in UEC and 5 credits in SPM. Okay.
那么这里有一个，这里有一个问题是，学校有什么 scholarship 吗？就是可以申请的。
scholarship， 你是问的是关于是 UEC 呢 ，SDPM 还是 SPM？ 因为
SPM 或 UEC 咯。
UEC 跟 SDPM 可是 for UK 就有 25% first year 一定有 ，second and third year 的话就要 CGPA maintain在3.0， 但是 local 的 law 我们就没有 local 的 law
哦
就要 for UK 而已。然后 SPM 的话 ，start from SPM 我们有一个 special package， 就是刚才我们的 Dean Miss Vasan 有说，就是他的 total fee 是6万，但是再加一些杂费啊、报名费就68800整4年。then 我们现在最新的就是我们有跟 OSK Foundation， 他有 approve 给我们，就是说程序我再问清楚，就是他可以学生要读我们他在 B40 的那个 range 的话，他可以 apply OSK Foundation， 但是要经过一些 interview 啦，他们要 interview， 你要证明你的经济能力怎样子，这些都有，所以这个是最新的咯。
OK， 然后学生还有一个问题啦，就是因为读法律就是可能要读很多的条例，那些这样的话是不是要记性很好才会比较适合呢？
Oh, Vasan, this
Sorry?
is asking, if because law they require very good memory and very fast. They can, no.
Okay. You see, everybody thinks that with law, the law studies, that means it's memorizing, 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 and regurgitating in the exams. No, no, no. Actually, the 3 years that you read law, the most important thing is this. You are looking at, okay, you've got a problem. If this is a problem, what is the law? Let's say, for example, I give you murder. Okay, murder is a criminal law, right? So, okay, this is murder. What does the law say about murder? What is the penalty for murder? In Malaysia, it is death sentence. Okay, mandatory death. And in the UK, it's not mandatory death. It can go up to a life imprisonment as well. So you need to look at where's the law and then look at what does the law say. And then you have to study that and apply it to the problem. It's not about memorizing, because memorizing, we know the textbook already says this, the statute, the acta all gives you all the sections already. We know how to look it up. We don't expect you to memorize and put it down. Section this says this, section this says that. Hello, you're not a statute book, right? You are not a walking statute book. You're not a walking law dictionary. You're not a walking law textbook. We want you to apply, to analyze, to think, why? So if I am the defense counsel for a person who has been accused of murder, how am I going to defend him? So the prosecution's case says, oh, we saw you with a knife and then your fingerprints are on the knife, and so you committed murder. But maybe I came in and I tried to help him and pull out the knife. I didn't push in the knife. I pulled out the knife. So of course my fingerprints are on the knife. But that doesn't mean I murdered. So I need to defend my client to show that, hey, you got the wrong guy here. He was probably caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. But what you're actually seeing is after the fact. He came in when the person was already stabbed. He was trying to pull the knife out and to press on the wound to stop the bleeding. So you got it all wrong. So it's all about interpretation. It's all about how we look at acts. So no, there is maybe some memorization, but even now during the pandemic with the exams being take-home exam papers and assignments and all that, it's all in front of you. It's an open book exam. So it's all about application, application, application. That's why we stress so much on the soft skills or the essential skills. It's not even soft skills, essential skills, such as legal skills and legal practice, because when you read the law, you need to look at the practical and application side of things, not just study, oh, criminal law is this, contract is this, constitutional law is this, and that's it. After the exams, it goes through here, comes out through here, finish. You won't be able to remember after the exams anything, isn't it? If you have finished your Form 5, can you remember what you wrote in your Form 5 exam papers? Or if you have finished your STPM, can you remember what the teacher told you or what you studied and what you wrote in the exam papers? No, we are human. We will forget. We will forget. The important thing is the skills you'll pick up is where to find the law, how do I read it and understand it, how I analyze it, and how I apply it and come to the conclusion. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, yes. OK， 还有一个学生有个问题就是如果律师啊以后上法庭啊是讲英文还是讲马来文的呢？因为学生会担心可能要兼顾2个语言这样子。
Oh, Vasan, the student is asking in real court, what language is allowed to use?
Okay.
Either one or only one?
Okay. In Malaysia, both Bahasa and English is accepted. General rule in the lower courts is Bahasa. In the higher courts also Bahasa, but with leave of court, we also speak in English. Many of the trials are still in English.
Oh.
So both, when we file a document in court, we file it in dual languages. It's bilingual. So it's English and Bahasa version, both there.
Okay, there's one question very important, right? If there's any dispute, you know, from Bahasa and English, we will base on English, right? This is the any.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't understand.
Mm,
So you mean if you've got an agreement in two languages?
yes.
Okay, for example, I'm also the legal advisor for HELP for the group. So we do, we draft agreements, we enter into agreements with Vietnam, with China, with Indonesia. So Indonesia is not so bad because I understand the language. With Vietnam and China, I don't understand the language. I don't know, I don't speak Mandarin, I don't speak Vietnamese, I don't read and write Mandarin or Vietnamese. So there will always be a clause that says that if there's any conflict or contradiction between the Chinese version and the English version will prevail.
So same as apply to BM and English, right? Version this both.
Well, in Malaysia, that shouldn't be a problem because there shouldn't be a contradiction because we should be quite versatile in both languages. So in court, they won't look at which version is this one. They will look at whoever is pressing for whichever argument they will look at. But normally court documentation, you can't say this version overrides the other version. No.
Okay,
No.
understand.
It's a direct translation, that one.
So, but actually, from actually, if you are doing go to the law industry, that means probably we can get the chance to get overseas clients, right?
Yes, some of the big corporate companies do have partnerships or collaboration with law firms in UK, law firms in Australia, in Singapore. Raja and Tan, a very famous law firm in Singapore, they do a lot of work in Malaysia through other law firms in Malaysia. So, but the rule is that in Malaysia, you have to be a local company or local person to set up the law firm. But now they're opening up and they're allowing outsiders to come in, but not to go to court. So you have to go through a local law firm.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I think there was a question in English. The law of place are different. If want to work at overseas, do I need to learn the law of the place? Oh, okay. Now, let's say you have done the UK degree transfer program, or even let's say the Malaysian HELP LLB. Then you have worked in Malaysia, and now let's say you and your husband or your family are migrating to Australia or migrating to US or wherever. The laws in that country will say that if you have practiced for X number of years, it depends on the jurisdiction that you're going to. So in some places in Australia, they allow, in most places they allow, but they will ask you to do a short pupillage, like maybe 6 months or 9 months of training in with a local law firm. And then they might ask you to sit for 1 or 2 exams to familiarize yourself with the local law. So it's not like a blanket approval that, oh, I've got a UK degree transfer program, it's going to be recognized anywhere. General rule, UK degree transfer program, because it's UK law, it's Commonwealth, it will be recognized in Commonwealth countries, but there will still be that component where you have to do a conversion course. So like even Singapore, if you studied in the UK and you came back, you still have to do their own local bar exams. No matter how long you have worked, you still have to come back and you have to train. And it's probably about 6 months or so. You have to look at which jurisdiction you're going to. So I've had students in the past who have gone to New York and sat for the New York bar. And so we had to write them a reference letter, show them the syllabus of what the students have completed, etc. So no problem. I've also got students in Australia now.
Okay, good. Very good. Because
Most welcome, Cham. Cham, yeah, Yuan. Yes, most welcome.
那么大家还有任何问题吗？你们都可以留言哦，就是老师都会回答你们哦。
是这个是我们 law department 的 dean，他也是 lawyer，他已经非常非常资深，有什么关于什么你们都尽量问，尽量发问，他很难得抽空哦。
就是大家对于就是法律这个或者是律师这个职业啊，你们有什么疑惑，你们也可以发问哦。OK，这样的话，有一个学生还有问啦，就是在HELP 的法律系哦，会不会好像很难读，然后很难去及格？
其实 HELP 的法律系是很 practical，我们强调刚才瓦桑一直强调我们是比较注重practical，因为 practical 的话是真的是很重要。读书以前就是瓦桑他 share 他的 experience， 他们就是读书而已，就考试出来社会完全没有经验。你要怎样去 approach client？ 你们有 client， 你们要怎样问他问题，他的 case 什么你们要懂啊。我们在这方面是很强调的，所以你说难读，如果你有兴趣的话，你读得会很开心。虽然难，你都难得你过得很开心，因为你喜欢嘛，对不对？就是这样。所以难容易是看个人的。如果你喜欢往法律这行业走的话，你读了你会很开心，你学到的这些真的是学得很充实，过得很充实啊！你真的是出来社会的时候，你就知道你所学的可以实际在 apply， 就是用在你就是毕业后出来社会的叫 apply， 你就可以 apply
它。可以，相信有解答到同学的问题啦。OK， 那目前应该是没有什么问题的，对吗 ？Annie 那里有收到什么问题吗？
我这边都没有问题，这边都没有问题的。
There's a question there. May I know the syllabus if I take in Singapore, same with Malaysia, and I can take the CLP in Malaysia? CLP in Malaysia at the moment, I don't, they recognize only 30 universities from the UK and some universities from Australia. In fact, Australian universities are 4-year degree program. The 4th year is the bar, but it's not recognized. You have to come back to Malaysia and do the CLP. NUS is a 4-year degree program. I need to check whether the NUS 4th year, whether they still insist on the CLP. But if you are planning to work in Singapore, then Malaysian degrees are not recognized.
Even the national, even MUM also not recognized.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Better to check. And if you're looking at going to UK to study, 1 + 2, 2 + 1, not recognized in Singapore.
Yeah, I know.
You must do all 3 years in Singapore, and only 8 universities in UK is recognized in Singapore.
Yeah, this one I know.
Yeah, only Oxford, Cambridge, Nottingham, Birmingham. I can't remember who are the others. Possibly Durham, but very few.
Very few.
Yeah, very few.
Very
King's College, Queen's Mary. These are all the London schools which are recognized. And then outside of London schools, it's Nottingham and Birmingham. Yeah, they're very strict because it's a small country. You can't have so many lawyers, so they have restricted that in that way. So I hope I've answered your question. All right. I just wanted to clarify something because initially you all were speaking in Mandarin, so I couldn't really follow, but I saw a few captions about foundation in law. Generally, there's no foundation in law. I'm not sure whether other colleges run foundation in law. It's important to have an overall foundation in arts. Foundation in arts, that means it opens up your mind. You are reading economics, you're doing law, you're doing maths, you're doing English, you're doing critical thinking. So the foundation in arts in HELP is very, very holistic because it's very wide ranged and it teaches you politics, culture, arts and politics is one of the papers. Leadership skills is one of the things that they also stress on. So it's a very good holistic program. I'm not sure of anybody running a foundation in law only, but then it narrows down, it's just like doing A levels, 2, 1 law paper and 1 something else. And that's it. For 1.5 years, all you do is just 2 papers. You are so narrow. Your mind is not thinking wide. And now with the IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0, and we're utilizing AI, artificial intelligence, we want lawyers, it's very, very imperative, very important for lawyers, whether you go into practice or not, to be able to read on economics, able to understand IT language, a little bit of data analytics, or how the legal ethics and the legal principles apply in AI. So if I use a robot and do brain surgery, if I'm using a robot to cut open someone's head, to go in and do a brain surgery, and there's a malfunction, there's negligence, who do I sue? Is it the doctor's fault? Is it the manufacturer of the robots? Or is it what? Did they not feed the robot with the right information? Whose fault is it? It's very, very interesting when you look at medical negligence now and the utilization of AI. So you must be widely read in that sense, exposure. So if you come through the foundation, or if you come direct even into the law program with us, we will make sure that you get as much exposure as possible. Yeah, so that was one of the things that I wanted to stress on. And then I saw that you all had only mentioned a few universities in the UK, but in total there are 30 universities recognized for CLP. Yeah. And there is a difference, by the way, with twinning and UK transfer. Twinning means you only twin with one university. For example, if I'm twinning with University Malaya, that means only University Malaya. Whereas ours is not a twinning, it's a transfer program. So we have 10 partner universities and you can choose which university you want to go to depending on your grades. Yeah, so that's the distinction between twinning and transfer. We are the law faculty is situated in Damansara campus, and we are a walking distance from the MRT, Samantan MRT. So very convenient, yeah. Hopefully we get to go back to campus soon enough. I miss my office too. You're most welcome. Most welcome.
相信呢，就是我们的Annie 啊，还有 Vasan 他已经跟我们就是介绍很多的问题，也跟我们讲解很多不同的关于法律的知识。那么呢，如果大家呢还有什么问题，也可以私下来 WhatsApp 我们，然后我们也会就是去解答你的问题啦。OK， 那么我们今天呢就是这个 Q&A 的环节就暂时告一段落了。OK， 所以我们今天谢谢 Annie， 也谢谢 Vasan 跟我们就是介绍这么多关于 law 的知识。
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vasan.
Thank you, Vasan.
Okay, thank you. 谢谢。
谢谢。
Good night.
拜拜。
Good night. Thanks.
OK， 那么呢 ，OK， 刚刚经历了这么长的 Q&A 环节，我们现在就来到了抽奖环节了。OK， 今天呢，获得我们的奖品的学生。
Sorry, yeah, I just left my email address there. So if there's anybody who wants to contact or get to know more issues, you can contact me on my email address. All right? Okay, good night. Bye-bye.
Bye. OK， 所以呢，获得星巴克的杯子的幸运儿呢，是叫做金乐串的同学。OK， 如果你有在的话，可以稍后WhatsApp我们拿，或者是留下你的电话号码，这样我们才联系得到你。那么呢，获得 Color Set 跟 Calendar 的学生呢，是叫做陈静心的同学。OK， 如果你有在的话，也可以留言让我知道，然后稍后记得一定要来WhatsApp我哦。OK， 那么呢，没有抽到的同学呢，也不要灰心，因为我们每一天都会抽就是2份礼物，我们的 event 大概还剩下2个礼拜哦。OK， 那么呢大家也可以记得扫描右下角的 QR code 来报名我们的活动。那么呢，对于 HELP 还想要更加深入了解的同学，可以参加下个星期四，也就是7月8号的大学讲解 event。当天呢 Annie 会跟大家介绍他们学校的其他科系，例如 business course 或者是一些communication 的科系。那么也会跟大家介绍就是那些科系的入学标准、学费奖学金等等。那么呢，因为他们也是有2间的 campus 嘛，那么他也会跟我们分享一下，这2间 campus 可能有什么不同。想参加的话，可以扫描右下角的 QR code 哦。 那么在后个星期四呢，就是7月15号，我们会邀请到 HELP 的在籍学生跟我们分享一些大学的点点滴滴。那么到时候呢，学生们就可以更加的了解，就是未来的大学生活大概是什么的样的概念哦。好，那么呢，这里做一项温馨提醒呢，就是我们明天的主题是教育系还有幼儿教育。OK， 最近都蛮多人对幼教是有兴趣的哦。那么我们邀请的是新加坡的 KLC， 那么呢，他们就是会给我们简略的介绍一下他们的学校咯。那么呢，我们也邀请到了 KLC 的大学代表，也就是嘉恩。那么他明天就是会出席啦，就是解决大家对 KLC 的一些问题等等。那么大家想报名，或者是你有朋友对幼教有兴趣，都可以在我们扫描右下角的 QR code 来报名我们的活动哦。那么呢，今天的 event 呢就到此结束了，感谢大家的收看。如果你们有任何疑惑，可以在稍后 WhatsApp Christine 或者是私信我。好，那么我们今天的 event 就结束了，拜拜。